workers, but
Yeah,
did
you
say
were.
that he thought they were, in quote, serious trouble.
You're the one who's in serious
During
trouble,
an
Trump.
average November, more than half a foot of snow is falling by the end of this month.
You're the
So
one who's a
far,
traitor,
it's not
Trump,
snowed at
and you
all.
know what the punishment for that is.
Chief Meteorologist Lisa Aldo says the above-average temperatures are also unique.
If our temps were not to change here through the end of
Thanks, Jason
November,
Crow, for saying he's gotten plenty of death threats before.
first or second.
This is one from the President of the United States, and he's not going to be intimidated.
Even if the month does end a cool
MTG
note,
quit.
it will likely still be one of the top 10 warmest
MTG dropped out as soon as she had like 1 weekend of death threats. I've had death threats from Trump mutineers for months and years.
Montrose United Methodist Church was sentenced yesterday for nuisance violations.
They're all cowards.
They're related to allowing unhoused residents to camp on church ground.
Church of Judas to replace all Christianity.
The sentence
War and
included
Trumpism.
$1,000 fine and 2 years of probation. That probation includes not setting up another camp. The church is planning an appeal. This is CP News.
Support comes from the Denver Waldorf School, providing a K-12 education grounded in truth, beauty, and goodness, featuring the inquiry-based
I wish I got in that whole
sciences,
report with Jason
interdisciplinary
Crow
arts, and
saying he
outdoor
considers it
play.
a death threat
More
from
at
Trump.
denverwaldorf.org.
Support comes from Rose
Somebody got to stand
Community
up to that
Foundation,
traitor Trump
celebrating 30 years of
and
commitment
his
to
Trump
greater Denver
mutineers.
nonprofits.
MTG didn't do it.
Learn more about how to maximize
She
charitable
folded
impact
like
with
a
a donor-advised fund. Information at
lawn chair.
rcfdenver.org.
This is Colorado Matters from CPR News.
She folded like Kaylani's sweater.
For the front
Kaylani's
range,
girlfriend's
some
sweater.
Rain, no real flakes. Storm that has rolled in won't break Metro Denver's snowless streak. That could change next
long are we
week,
gonna go without
says
snow?
Chief Meteorologist
Maybe
at
next week.
Denver 7 Lisa Hidalgo. I cycled over to her station.
All right, y'all.
Positively balmy temperatures Thursday.
MTG's gone. I just posted some content about MTG that made this morning, and I just posted it
Thank you. Glad to
3
be
minutes
here and
before I
to
found
talk
out
all
that she
things
quit.
Kind of winter, right?
Kind of winter, I think, sums up the season. This
It's
is
ridiculous.
not a snow-packed storm.
She got 1 weekend of death
Maybe
threats
affect
for
the
finally
snow
turning
pack
against Trump,
much?
and she quit.
A little. In fact, most of the snow that we're going to see with this system falling in the mountains.
She could have just
especially
become a
down in the
Democrat. She could have been
southwestern
voting
corner of the
against
state,
Trump. She could have
where
used her
actually
power
they've
in her
had some
place
decent
against Trump, the
numbers
one
down into the
threatening her.
Dolores, San Miguel, River Basin there at about 50% of average when it comes
Just
to
shows how Trump thinks all y'all are disposable. Trump thinks all his supporters are disposable, no matter how much you've been supporting him. He sees you as disposable because his whole goal is to destroy the country. You're part of the country. He wants to destroy you too. He'll destroy you after you serve him and support him, or he'll destroy you if you don't. But even if you serve him, he's gonna destroy you ultimately. So stop serving Trump. Why would you serve an evil master who's going to destroy you? Like, it's maybe a metaphor for your actual spiritual beliefs as well, but you got to stop serving Trump. You got to stop being Trump's slave and worshiper. It's evil. See what happened to MTG? And she was one of his top slaves. She was one of his main slaves, despite what she said. She's still a slave to Trump even as she went out. She's still talking about how much she supported him. She still hasn't turned on Trump, even though he turned on her. She hasn't turned on Trump, amplifying the death threats against her. But at least she quit. So at least MTG quit, but I mean, I kind of wish he hadn't quit. Wish he'd stayed in Congress and just switched parties. Why wouldn't you just switch to the party that is not death threatening you? This party that never death threatened you. And as soon as she made the slightest criticism of Trump, and it was just to release the Epstein files, which he ended up saying he wanted to do anyway. He ended up pretending he wanted it to happen. You know, that's all she broke with him on, and his supporters were death threatening her, and he was encouraging them. You got to stop Trump. He's here to destroy us, and he'll destroy you for supporting him too. You got to come around. I kind of wish MTG had stayed in Congress and just become a Democrat or something. Been voting against Trump, but I guess on the other hand, glad she's leaving the seat. But if they just leave it to elect another MAGA, then you know you're defeating your cause. You need to defeat your previous cause, but you're going against your cause of having some type of consequences for death threatening you, MTG. Be American again. Leave the Trump-Putin-ears. They're done with the weather
For
report.
measurable, significant snowfall.
We're still talking about snow. We're going to get snow or we're not. It's global warming, so it's later and later sometimes. But anyway, I had just posted about MTG and how it'd be great if she continued to stand up against Trump. Instead, she quit. Then I heard on the news she just quit Congress. I think she's maybe staying through January or something. But it's like, just stay in Congress, keep your seat, and vote against Trump. Just join the Americans, leave the Trump-Putin-ears, and vote against Trump. I was all supporting trying to save MTG. They're probably still going to try to kill her. So we still have the chance to like catch the people who are trying to kill her and catch Kash Patel for trying to protect the people who are trying to kill her. That's the protocol. Stop the people who are trying to kill MTG and catch Kash Patel for trying to protect the people who are trying to kill MTG. So it would be nice to keep her alive. She doesn't need to be just a symbol, you know, and a victim of them. You know, it'd be nice if she would live long enough to change her ways and change her mind like Michael Cohen has about certain things.
Better pattern shift. I'd say.
We're still talking about smell on the radio. So yeah, we gotta save MTG, stop the people who are gonna try to kill her, and stop Kash Patel for trying to cover it up, and stop Trump for coordinating it and calling for it. Stop Putin for infesting us with Trump. Turkeys. More turkeys. Anyway, I'm ready for the end of Trumpism, end of MAGA, and if one of them's gone, MTG's gone, that's good. But if she leaves space for, and I should have faith in people of Georgia, even though I know what Georgia's like. I used to live there. I should have faith in the people of Georgia that they can rally behind a non-MAGA candidate, whoever it might be, in their area where MTG was previously represented. If they put up with MTG all these years, it's probably a rough part of Georgia. Pretty sure it's the northeast corner, which is like the last part of America to rejoin the Union. I lived in that county in Dalton, Georgia, or Dalton County, and I didn't live there because of this, but one of the shameful things about that county is they didn't rejoin the Union after the Civil War until, you want to guess in chat? You won't guess it. Like 1970. So they stayed outside of America for an additional 120 some years. 110 years. Because they're that freaking redneck in the northeast corner. Or sorry, northwest corner. Sorry, northwest corner of Georgia. And I don't know if that's where MTG represented. But anyway, she quit. So, she's done. You get a view of Denver here. Just for a second. Get a view of Denver through the trees right there. See it with the plane overhead? That's Denver. Anyway. So MTG quit. See if they're still talking about snow. Playing some music. So, I mean, I guess it's good news that MTG quit. Although, I mean, maybe she'll... I feel like she needs to stay in the spotlight longer to finish learning the lesson that she picked the wrong side. That the side she picked sees her as disposable and is trying to kill her. And she should get revenge on him. I mean, maybe she'll just fade away. Maybe she'll become a... or something, but you'd hope that she would eventually wake up against all this Trump-Putin stuff, the terrorist network that she was a part of for so long. But at least she got a little bit of a taste of it and found out what she had been supporting. And it probably won't go away until we get rid of Trumpism, so she should work harder to help us get rid of Trumpism. It saves America and it saves her and her peace of mind. So, but anyway, welcome to being just a citizen, MTG, instead of a representative. But I wish you'd just change parties or something and started voting against Trump.
Session puts these questions to people in power and people affected. The answers are complicated. Brian Lewandowski gets us started. He heads the business research division at CU's.
What do you guys think about MTG quitting? There's 4 of you in here now, supposedly. Probably a few more than that, and that YouTube doesn't like to count you all, but
Wobbly to describe the stock market.
you think MTG was just being a coward? She quit as soon as there was some type of danger to her because she turned on Trump. Even though all she turned on Trump was to say release the Epstein files. And now he went into the whole like amplifying the death threats against her. That's how much he didn't want to release them. Now he's pretending he does. So they could have just, said water under the bridge, let bygones be bygones, brushed it under the rug, put it behind him, been friends again. But no. I mean, the death threats had come out for one thing, and he didn't try to stop them. So, MTG had that coming or made that happen because she installed the terrorist network that ended up threatening her, the Trump Mutineers. But anyway, what do y'all think about her quitting today? I just heard the news 3 minutes ago. I just finished posting about her, about how we should save her life. We should catch the Trump mutineer terrorists, the Groypers, or whoever they're going to be, who try to kill her. And we should catch Kash Patel for trying to cover up them trying to kill her. Like, all those things are probably still due to happen within the next few days. So we might as well try to save MTG, catch the Groypers who try to kill her, and bust Kash Patel for trying to cover it up for him. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all when y'all feel like talking, I guess. The rest of the news sounded boring. It's kind of exciting that MTG had quit, and exciting that Jason Crow is standing up, our representative here in Colorado, is standing up against Trump, saying, he takes that as a death threat and he's not going to back down. And it's just giving more publicity to their message. You do not have to obey an illegal order from the president. In fact, it's your duty not to obey an illegal order for the president. And with these stakes, at this point, I feel like it's your duty to coup. Don't boo, coup, as Obama would say. Don't boo, coup. Like, overthrow Trump for trying to give you illegal orders. Like, that's your duty to the country. He's a traitor. We should all be talking openly about how Trump's a traitor, and the military should be preparing to coup and overthrow him, and we will all support a military junta. That'll be fun to say. First time for everything. We haven't done that before in America, but maybe that's the way we need to go to show how bad it was to have Trump doing this stuff, and how we had to take the last resort, the option of last resort. And our military wouldn't be taking power to try to keep power. Our military would be taking power to stop Trump from destroying the country, and then they could even have elections early. We could have elections next year to elect a real American president to replace Trump. But the military, wouldn't be trying to elect themselves. Probably. I guess they could run if they wanted to. Whoever was in charge elected. The military wouldn't be trying to please groups and get reelected. They could actually just govern the country well. And it might only be for a year, tops 3 years. They could govern the country and take care of things. And so we got to have an election, maybe even call it an early election.
These visa programs that has a limiting factor on growth in our labor supply.
Anyway,
we already have a pretty slow
thanks for listening.
population
See you next time.
within the country. So thinking about retirees and slow